Hey guys, Frank the Pest Geek here. I decided after a very trying 2 weeks where I was at my wit's end dealing with my SEO company, I decided I'm going to take, after firing them yesterday and making a decision, I decided I'm going to take the day off. Well, not the day off, because I started working at 6 in the morning. Everybody likes a cigar, and I'm going to unwind with you guys. It's not it's not polite to talk with a cigar in your mouth. I don't know. Very aggravating. I don't know. I don't know what to do a lot of the times to de-stress because I don't drink. Not really. I might have a drink once a week. I might have a beer. I don't have beers anymore because they're too fattening. They mess with my triglycerides. I don't like going to the gym to de-stress. I'm doing yoga. I hadn't done yoga in 3 days because I was getting up early and getting to work early because I was so stressed. And I think by working more, I sometimes deal with it, but I really don't. So I decided I'm going to go out in the morning. I got up around 6 o'clock, which I get up every day around 6:30. I was up before the alarm clock rang, and then I started working on the route and started working on some stuff and checking some of the Facebook comments. And then around 7 o'clock, I started doing yoga, 8 o'clock. And then I started getting calls and getting busy. And I just did some push-ups, didn't do any workout. I just don't have the energy. I just don't feel it when I'm stressed out like this. The workout for me is something that I want to go do because it's enjoyable now, and I need to do it, not because I just got all the stress. By the way, this is another Romeo Julieta Romeo. I bought a bunch of them, and they're actually pretty tasty if I can get them. So after speaking to my lawyer, and I said, "What do I do, man? This is the situation." He says, "Did you get a contract?" And I said, "No, I trusted them because of the reputation they had and what people were saying. And I didn't get a contract. They didn't want one either. They say they didn't have contracts. Now I know why, for a reason. We're in pest control. Everybody says we don't have a contract. Well, I have a contract. I have a contract that stipulates what we promise to do to the client, for the client, what our terms and conditions are, what our exclusions are, the chemical advisory, the permission that they're accessing to the property when they're not there for us to go treat. There's a whole bunch of legal things that have nothing to do with a contract, a long-term contract. All our contract says is we need 30 days prior written notice for you to cancel. But in there, we have promises we make, what the service is like, the pests we cover. We have all these stipulations. They didn't want any contract. Now I know why. And my advice to you is you need a contract. And what he told me was, listen, you don't have a leg to stand on. They're out of state. So if they're out of state, you got to sue them in the state they're in. And if you had a contract, you would still have to sue them in the state they're in, because our contract says that, our pest control contract says you got to agree to binding arbitration before we go to court. And that allows us to solve the issue with, if it ever gets that way. If you're taking care of your clients, if you're doing the right thing for your clients, if the client complains, the moment they complain, you do something about it, you don't even get a bad review, much less ever end up in a lawyer's office. I know about being in a lawyer's office because I was getting sued all the time with the company I work for. This was a $2 billion company, and we merged and they became a $4 billion company. And I was the regional contract guy, and I was probably once a month easily in corporate counsel being deposed. And, of course, they defended me because my contracts were ironclad. They wrote the contract. But I was being named in the lawsuit, and they were representing me, and I had to be deposed. I understand what it's like. That's why I talk to you guys about having contracts, covering your butt, making sure that you're doing the right thing, because it's no fun. So his advice was, cut and run, Frank. Just cut your losses, move on, get it over with, and just eat it and just move on. And that's exactly what I did 5 minutes later after I talked to him. Well, because I have a podcast, now they're, dumping bricks, to put it mildly, because I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about it on my podcast. I'm going to talk about the experience. I'm going to talk about the wrongs. I'm going to talk about how I teach people, because I've done a lot of podcasts on SEO. Now I'm going to do even more. Now I'm spoiling the party for everybody that is going out there and preying on people who are not uneducated about SEO, who are desperate to have their business, who are new and want advertising, and all these companies that are selling crap. I'm going to show you how, because this is not the first one. This is actually the third one. This is why I've done my own SEO for the last 6 years, and I haven't handed it off to anybody. And I took a chance, and the first person I gave it to screwed me. And they're like, well, you can't talk about it. They wanted me to sign a contract that says, we give you back your money. You got to sign an agreement. You're not going to talk about it on your podcast. I said, keep your money. I don't need your money. I have money. I have enough money to sue you if you get on my case. Believe me. So I don't care. And I don't mention names. I never have. You guys out there that are on my groups, that I've never, ever mentioned the name of any company, even when a guy was acting belligerent, and he's still in my group, and I never got rid of him, because I have a lot more class than that. So don't push my buttons, because the more you tell me not to do something, you don't understand. You're dealing with a Cuban. The last thing you tell a Cuban is don't do something. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So since I have enough class not to mention your name, you said, well, people are going to know. Nobody's going to know. I'm not going to mention it. I don't do it. As a matter of fact, I'm getting calls from people asking me, is it this company? Is it that company? And I said, look, I'm not going to mention the name of the company. I'm not going to do that. That's not my style. So you can forget about it. And so I'm going to basically talk about good SEO, bad SEO. How do you hire an SEO company? How do you do it? It's very simple. If the company's out of state, don't hire them. That's your number one way you protect yourself. Don't hire a company that's out of state. Second of all, you find a person that, let's say you go to the air conditioning guy that's ranking number one on Google in your market, and they got an SEO guy. Well, talk to him and say, who's your SEO company? Do you love them? How long you been with them? Are they doing a good job for you? You're ranking well. They treat you well. How much do they charge? And then you call that company and says, hey, I'm a local pest control company. Why? There's no conflict of interest. Look, my buddy Joel I was at his wedding last week, and he said, bro, talk to my SEO guy. Get him on. You're doing Broward. I'm doing Dade. He's doing Broward. I said, look, dude, I'm going to move into Broward next year. For me to talk to your guy is unethical. It's an issue of ethics with me. There's certain things I'm not going to cross. So if you got a company that has multiple clients in your area, that is a conflict of interest. You don't hire a company that has any clients in the area, in the markets that you want to be in, because that's unethical. And what I tell people is I want 10 of the sites that you're managing that are producing as many clicks to the site as mine. And then you get a program like SEM Rush, and you get a program like SpyFood, and you go and look at those guys and how competitive they are. And you do an analysis. I had a guy do an analysis for me on my website. I know exactly where all the problems were. He's a big guy. This guy builds thousands of sites. He ranks them. Here's the difference between him and this company that's an SEO company. He builds sites. He builds them in the local market, and then he leases them out. He does it by the thousands. I've had 2 guys that do this now. And he was generous enough to go to my website and said, bro, here's where all your problems are. It's about 200 hours worth of work to fix it. Honestly, I would do a new site for you, but I would do a 301 redirect, so you don't end up with 404 errors. So before I went to these people, I already knew the inside of everything that I had, everything that I was supposed to do. And I basically trusted them with my money. My buddy Joel said, look, bro, I've gone through 10 companies that I had to fire for the same thing. You move on. You put the money in, they don't work out, you fire them, you have no way of really knowing. Well, I'm giving you all the ways that you can know if you've got a good SEO company that's calling you. And you say, I want to know about this guy paying the same amount I'm paying in the same program. And basically you don't disclose what you're going to do. It says, okay, how many people do you have in this market or in a similar market that to mine with similar demographics and similar sociographics? How much are they paying and where are they ranking? And now you get the truth. He says, well, that company, then when you confront them, well, they're getting 6,000 clicks and this one is getting this. How many clicks am I going to get? And then you hear, well, they're really paying 3,000 a month for that. Oh, so now you lied to me. That's when you hang up the phone. So you see, you got to do investigative work. You got to be willing to be patient. You got to be willing to understand what is happening. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of podcasts where I'm going to do a screen training and showing you, because the reality is you do got to put in about 20 hours. You got to put in probably about 80 to 100 hours of online training to get decent at it. But if you go online and I show you, look at Neil Patel on page SEO. Look at this guy on off page SEO. Look at this guy on social media. Look at this guy on doing YouTube videos. Look at this guy at doing directories marketing, because it's about 20 pieces that you have to do. And it was taking me 20 to 30 hours a week that I no longer have. And I'm trying to delegate so I don't have to do this, so I can spend time with my kids, enjoy my money, enjoy what I'm doing, and not let the business rule my life. So what did I do? I fired them. I'm bringing my buddy on board, who's my partner in this, to do a lot of things. And we were doing some partnerships together. And I'm bringing him on now full time. Now it's going to cost me 3x. I don't care. Why I don't care? Because I'm going to get what I want. I know I trust him with my life. I trust him with my business. He's a man of integrity. He's untouchable and impeccable in his compromise to quality and integrity. He's a workaholic. If I don't stop him from working, he'll keep working. And now that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to basically teach good SEO and basically screw it up for all these guys. I'm firing everyone from my groups that are marketers, that are SEO guys, that are just there to contact all my people. I'm getting rid of all those people on my groups, and I'm moving forward. And I'm out here today. I'm no longer pissed. I'm no longer upset. I'm no longer depressed. I'm a happy person, and that only lasts for a couple of days. You know, the Bible tells me don't let the sun set on your wrath. I have to repent, and I'm like trying to be really courteous and really nice at not being hurtful and offensive. I don't rejoice in their downfall. I don't rejoice in anybody's. But if you're quality and you have integrity, and you're, especially if you're godly, you're going to do well in life. You're going to do it slower than everybody else. I'm building by business. So everybody's like, bro, why aren't you growing at 50%? Dude, I don't want the headaches. I'm talking to all my friends that are growing at 50%, people that are growing at 50%, and they are losing their mind. Some people have that capability. I don't like my blood pressure going up. This is a beautiful view. Look at this, bro. I mean, this is beautiful sky. Look at this. See, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to, I had a consultation with a client this morning that we took on an account, and the irrigation system I told them was bad. They put plants where they shouldn't be. They put them in the wrong place. So I met with their irrigation guy. I spoke with their landscape architect, and I basically said, these plants are in the wrong place. You need to get rid of them or we're not covering them. That customer I told you about called me this morning that I told him, look, you need to sit down when you get my price because I'm going to be the most expensive guy you ever call. I'm very selective of who I bring on, but understand I only got to sell one or two while you're selling 3 to 4. So I am patient. Why? Because I don't want to be this guy that's always on edge, unhappy, pissed off at his employees. I want to bring in people that understand this. I'm going to bring salespeople in on salary and understand you got a quota to meet, but your quota is low because I'd rather you spend the time with the client. I'd rather you build a relationship. If you want to make $100,000 a year as a salesperson, you could probably do it as a sales manager, not a salesperson. You're going to make 50, 55, 60 to 85 with bonuses. But I want you to work Monday through Friday. I don't want you working Saturdays. I don't want anybody on my team working Saturdays or Sundays and being all stressed out. I charge premium rates so that I can hire the best people, so that I can pay the best salary, so I can treat people right that want to be treated right, that don't want to be treated like cattle. And I want to live a stress-free life, and this is a balancing act. And if you bring stress to my life and you're basically a whiner, a complainer, one of these guys that just decides he's going to, just make everybody's life miserable, you're not going to make it here, because I'm going to fire you very quickly. I don't care if you're my number one producer. I don't care if you're the best technician. If you don't fit in line with our culture of kindness and love and gentleness and self-control, you don't make it here. You don't make it with me. So this is what I'm doing right now. This is my goal. This is my dream. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm coming out here on a what's the day? Wednesday, Thursday. I even lost track. It's Thursday. And I'm enjoying my afternoon. I'm going to go enjoy my afternoon with my kid. I'm going to enjoy his soccer practice. And I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm basically going to talk about all the points of SEO. And if you can put in 20 hours a week on SEO and you're in a small market, I'll teach you how to rank in the next 6 months. You got to be patient. SEO isn't about instant. SEO is about doing 30 things well. And if you can do 30 things well over time, you will rank. So I'm going to be discussing video SEO, on-page SEO, how to get organic backlinks that you don't have to pay for because it's not ethical. That's black hat. I'm going to show you everything I've done in my business so you can rank. The question is always going to be, are you willing to put in the time? Because in business, here's the reality. You either have the money, you have the time, or you have the skills. And if you don't have the skills, then you need to hire the skills. If you don't have the time, you need to pay for the time. And if you have the money, pay for it. But if you don't have, then you need to put in the time and learn the skills. And for a lot of people, they're so impatient. They want it yesterday. I said, no, you're going to take you for doing it yourself. If you listen to me and you go every night and you spend 4 hours a night on SEO, you will rank in the top of your market, chances are, within 3 to 6 months. Because you're not in the market I am. You're not in a top 6 market. I'm the 6th busiest market in the country. I am a big market that most SEO people have no experience working in. When I talk to my SEO guy that I trust, he says, bro, I can't afford you right now. He says, bro, you realistically need, I would charge you. Look at my analysis. Look what I did. I'm going to charge you. He told me point blank, I'm not touching you less than $3,500 a month for SEO plus ads. You're going to need to cough up $5,000 a month. That's the reality. That's what I want from people. I want that honesty. How much is it really going to take for me to rank on the first page of Google in 6 months? That's the question you need to ask. You need to look people between the eye and get the truth. And when they stammer around because they don't want to tell you the truth, because they don't want to lose you, they want to string you along, that's when you walk away at that point. And this is what I'm talking about, SEO. This is what I'm talking about. Living a life that you can at least enjoy, send your kids to a good school, live in a decent home, drive a decent car, take a decent vacation, and enjoy yourself. This is what I'm after right now. I don't care. I got a goal to build a $5 million company. I'm going to build a $5 million company. I'm going to build a $5 million company because I know how to do it. I'm on track. Let me take my hand out of the camera. It's Dunkin' for me, baby, because no $5 coffee. No $5 coffee for me. I wear clothes that are 20 years old, that look brand new. I drive a $32,000 a year car, which I originally bought for my wife because I would have been happy with a $12,000 Corolla. I have no one to impress. I'm going to show you what I did with $1,000 in 30 days. I took $1,000 on the stock market and basically grew it by 50% in less than 30 days. I'm going to start doing a little podcast on that to help some people that need to make $500 a month because they work at a dead-end job. I'm going to show you how easy that is. It's not that hard to make money, guys. You overthink it sometimes. You're like, oh, it has to be this amount. My friend Joel got me into this. He says, bro, you need to bet. I took a couple $1,000 and I already got $33,000 in 1 year in investments. And he put in about 10 grand. So I'm going to teach you all my secrets. I'm going to teach you all my secrets for free. Why? Because I know very few of you are actually going to do anything with it. Those that do something with it will thank me. I will have your eternal gratitude in heaven. And that's where it really matters to me. I would have done good. I would have saved you from a lot of headaches and a lot of trouble. Now, if you want to talk to me, understand that my time is limited. And I'm thinking about doing SMB consulting. I don't know yet. I'm talking to a couple of guys that are doing it. Some are charging $100 an hour. Some are charging $600 an hour. Some are charging $2,000 a month. I will have to be probably happy somewhere between 125 and 250 an hour to do consulting because it's time. It's you taking an hour of my time that I'm never going to get back. I got to get something for it. So a lot of guys are calling me and go, hey man, I want to talk to you for a bit. Can I call you at 6 o'clock? I said, no, bro. At 6 o'clock, I'm with my kid. I'm resting. I'm relaxing. If you don't have time in the middle of your route for me to invest in you during the day, I can't wait till you get off your route because you don't want to take an hour from your route to do it. And you want to talk to me on my time. That's unfair. I mean, we got to be fair and equitable. So I'm going to show you how much we're going to crank it out. I already got 5,000 followers on my Nature Pest channel. I already have 1,000 followers on Pest Geek, all organic. I know some of the guys that have grown their channel in this sphere have bought the, from India. They bought the likes and the subscribers. There's no way you put a podcast up and within 24 hours have 1,500 subscribers with no content. You bought it. I've done everything organically. I've done everything white hat. I've done everything by the book. It's slower. A lot of you guys who are believers and Christians say, man, everybody around me is getting rich and they're all doing it wrong. And here I am doing it right and I can't get ahead. Understand that you got to take the high road. You got to take the long road. You got to take the right road. In the end, you will be happy. You will be blessed. That's really the meaning of the word blessed when it's used mostly in Scripture. It means exceedingly happy. I want you to be exceedingly happy. I want to be exceedingly happy. I don't want blessed. I don't want money that comes with having to watch my back all the time, like a lot of these people that are screwing me. I talk to guys like Paul Bello, and he takes the high road. Take the high road all the time. Take the long way. See, that path, nobody's on it. The reason I went with what I went with, I'm having a talk with a graphic designer now who's a really good guy. He built a $4 million company on natural. I'm not crazy, guys. I'm talking to the people that are actually doing it. The problem is you're talking to all the wrong people. You're listening to all these naysayers on social media, all these gripers, all these guys that work for all these crappy companies that are getting screwed left and right, and they're bitter and angry at life. Why don't you listen to me for a change? Listen to some of the people that are telling you to do it the hard way. It's much more rewarding when you did it the hard way and you made it. I was really honked off. My blood pressure went through the roof. My blood pressure started coming down this morning. This is one of the reasons. Got to hold it with this hand. Well, I can hold it with this hand. This is one of the reasons why I don't like getting upset. My blood sugar and my blood pressure and my cholesterol, my triglycerides are directly related to my mood. And that's why I try to stay even keel. I try to stay happy because when I get upset, my blood sugar shoots up. My triglycerides shoot up. My blood sugar is high. My blood sugar has been high every morning at over 120. I want my blood sugar at 100. So I'm not, that's why I don't want anybody around me that's a griper, a moaner, people that are troublemakers, people that all they want to do is come into organizations and basically have their issues that they haven't dealt with and have bitter and carry a chip on their shoulder and bring that with them from other companies because they got screwed. I want people that have dealt with it. I want people that have moved on. I got screwed in the last 2 years like you have no idea. I should be bitter. Like some of you guys made the comment that, Stephen Van Tassel built my podcast up when I wasn't there. Well, the reason I wasn't there is because I was going through some really hard personal problems. I still, every day I had to produce his podcast when I had no energy, I had no strength because I was so hurt, and I had to deal with that for 2 years to the tune of about $30,000 worth of hurt. You guys that make all these comments that are hurtful about, even on my group, I'm going to start getting rid of you. Because a lot of the guys are here to learn. They're here to thrive. If you want to be the class clown, disrupt the class, I'm just going to get rid of you. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with your criticism and your negativity, criticizing my Christianity. You want to criticize my Christianity, go start your own podcast. You want to criticize my IPM, go start your own podcast. I don't have time for you. I don't have time to have fruitless debates on my group, on my page with people anymore. Ben Williams is he's reflecting a lot. I think last time I buy any of these, especially from the supplier, they're too tight now. They tightened up after, I went ahead and lit it. I'm talking, listening to a lot of people. I mean, Rush Limbaugh died, and some of you guys are rejoicing in that. Whether you like him or hate him, he was a human being. And when you turn politics into something that personal, that hateful, something is seriously wrong with you and something is wrong in your heart. When you're I would feel the same hurt whether and feel the same way whether it was President Trump that died or Biden. I would still have sympathy for his family. I would still not trash him, even though I don't agree with either. They didn't vote for them. The guy I wanted to win, the people I would have wanted to win, didn't make it because people don't want truth. People want a show. People want their ideals and their idealism. I can't judge whether Biden is a Christian or not. Only God knows that. I can't judge whether Trump is a Christian or not. Only God knows that. If a man repents in his heart, at that moment, the Bible says, look at the two thieves on the cross with Jesus. And he looks at one and says, truly, you will be in paradise with me today. That moment, that man was forgiven because he realized how big of a sinner he was, and he realized that that was the Son of God. I don't get into those judgmental calls. I don't deal with that. I got people around me that lived very, very terrible lives, and today God is working in their life. I want to be part of the guy who helps people change, who helps people grow, who helps people be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. Not the guy that's always being negative, bringing everybody down, talking crap about everyone, and being bitter and angry with life. I just won't have you around me. You won't be in my group. You won't be in my friend group. You won't be on my pages. I will totally bar you. You can give me all the thumbs down you want. You can not like, you can leave comments in places that are negative, and I will shoot them down. I will deal with you. I'm a Christian believer. This is what the Bible teaches me to do. I have compassion for these people because they are screwing me, they're screwing other people, and God is going to deal with them. Look at I believe it's Psalm 73, where the prophet is having a fit about how people who are ungodly succeeding. And he says, I'm here envying them because they're succeeding. And I'm not. And I'm going and struggling. And he has a moment of, And I said I was like an animal before you. When we have those thoughts, we become like animals. We're not thinking straight. See, I'm not lashing out against them. I'm not going to mention their name. I'm gonna basically teach people what the right thing is. My pastor taught me a long time. He said, Frank, how do you know the truth from a lie? How do you know the fake from the real? And it says, you worry about learning the real, ignore the fake. A teller knows a bill pretty much if she's experienced by what it's supposed to look like, feel like. We have the tools to know if this is fake or real. All we have to do is hand it back to them and say, this is a fake bill, we're not taking it. Or we're supposed to do is take it and put it into the treasury and collect it. Walk away. If it's too good to be true, if it's too many promises, if it's empty promises that you're seeing, if the data doesn't add up, if things are not adding up, walk away no matter how desperate you are at the moment, no matter how good it sounds. There is the Bible talks about the good and the better and the best that God has for you. Let's settle for the best. Let's stop settling for good. Let's stop settling for good enough. Let's stop settling for right now. I've settled for good. I could have had best. I only right now, my technician's like, dang, all you're selling are premium services. Yes. All I want is premium clients. And I'm willing to wait for that premium client. I'm willing to position myself where I'm only selling one Bentley a month instead of 100 Corollas to make $2,000, because the Corolla salesman is making $2,000 a month, while the Bentley salesman is making $100,000 a year. I rather sell Lear jets and yachts to people that want it. They know they want it, they can afford it, and are willing to pay for it, versus selling crap to everyone and going crazy. Finally, my friend who has a large company finally listened to me, and he's building a team where he's at. He finally hired a manager with good experience. But this has been he finally is hiring people with bachelor's degrees to run their call centers. Finally, he's getting rid of all the people in his company. He's finally listening. I want you to be those that listen. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. This is why we have customer service. But understand, if my customer calls, man, I'm there the next day. This week I've been out twice to 2 clients. One I had to get really tough with this morning because the landscaper came in and said all my shrubs were full of whitefly, and that's why they defoliated. Well, no, 2 months ago, they totally trimmed it completely back and over-trimmed it, and I showed them that they over-trimmed it and they caused the leaf drop because we had low temperatures, and the shrubs got stressed. And I said, find me one whitefly on that shrub, and I'll give you the service for the entire year. For free. I'm still waiting on that call. It's not there. I said, go out to the main street and look at all the shrubs that the company trimmed, and go find a white shrub out there on 5 miles around that entire complex. They're all defoliated because of the temperature. Because ficus are semi-deciduous trees. If they get stressed in any way, the response is drop the leaves to protect themselves. Of course, they're not a horticulturist. They're not a certified operator. They don't know agronomy. They don't know anything. They bought a bunch of equipment, and they decided one day they were going to be landscapers. By the way, this is the 3rd company they've had in the last 10 years. I've been with them for 12 years. That says something. That I have clients that stick with me for 10, 12 years, even though my price keeps going up every year. So I want you guys out there to listen to me. I'm raising the bar. I'm going to be speaking for you and helping you when nobody else is. I'm a little guy. I don't care if I get to 5 million. Money doesn't change me. Money has never changed me. I've had money and I've had no money. I went from making $50,000 to $60,000 a year to make $7 an hour loading trucks for FedEx, part-time in the morning, waking up at 4 a.m. and finishing up at 8, just so that I can put food on my table. And so I know the value of hard work. I know the value, but I also know that you can be excellent. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be excellent. Hold on, I gotta find my lighter. This cigar is not good at all. Don't buy it anymore. The company I bought it for, I switched tobacconists to save a little money. There's your example. So I saved about 30%. I'm going back to, by the way, my tobacconist that I buy from online is Neptune Cigars. They've got superstores. They're awesome to go to, man. These superstores are so nice to go into. Everybody's super nice. Everybody's just awesome there. I buy from them online. I said, let me try this company. They've been sending me marketing stuff. And basically, these are cut rate cigars that they're selling at 30% off. You just can't tell by looking at them, but they're second-class cigars. You notice I promoted the good company. I didn't talk trash about the bad one. So guys, I'm going to leave you with this. As the Bible says, do good to everyone, especially to those the household of faith. The Bible is full of business wisdom that if you apply it and you get off your religious high horse, you get off of your butthurt of how you hate religion. I hate religion. Jesus never spoke about religion. Jesus spoke about the kingdom. Jesus spoke about forgiveness, spoke about love, spoke about freedom. Most of the arguments I have with people, it's about religion. Well, the church this and the church that, and people in the church and the people in the church. And I said, what did Jesus ever do to you? Tell me. What wrong did Jesus ever do to you? What did Jesus ever do to make you hate him so much? Jesus did nothing to you except for you. The church, through history, many churches through history, have done many atrocities. None of those atrocities were ever ordered by Jesus Christ. This is where the Bible talks about using the name of the Lord in vain. It isn't when you say the damn word. It's when you say, I'm doing this in the name of God, and it tarnishes God's name. And God never sanctioned it. God never ordered it. God never told you to do it. It's not in his word. You can't prove it. The Crusades were never ordered by God. Those were men who did it for the reasons of their own. But God never told it. Jesus said, walk the extra mile. Turn the other cheek. Why do you think I'm not lashing out against them? Walk the extra mile comes from the Bible. It's not from business. Most of the sayings you hear today are Bible sayings. Do good to those that hate you. Love your enemies. All that is biblical. That's what I try to do. I hurt, I get angry, and I really try not to sin against them. And I have to really, this is where the fruit of the Spirit in your life, the gentleness, the love, the joy, the peace, the gentleness, the self-control comes in. It's either in you or it's not. Yes, I posted a bunch of things. Never mentioned any names. Never used profanity. Never said I'm going to get even. I'm going to destroy them. That's not who I am. That's who they are, threatening me with litigation if I say anything, because I'm defaming them. I'm not defaming you. You defamed yourself. So good luck with that. I got lawyers. I got 3 lawyers to deal with this stuff. Go ahead, take me on. You don't have a leg to stand on. Sending me a letter, a cease and desist letter, is going to be toilet paper, because they're not going to act on a cease and desist letter. They're going to send it to intimidate me. That's fine. You know how many cease and desist letters I've got on the podcast? Because I've never said anything against anybody. Never mentioned any names. See, I'm smart enough to know that, guys. I'm not an idiot. Never put myself in a situation that compromises me or my integrity. I got to be above reproach on everything I do, because that would be hypocritical of me to tell you to do something and not do it. Could I get a fine tomorrow from the FDAX because one of my employees did something wrong? Yeah. And then I'm going to fire him, because I'm on record telling everyone, if I ever tell you to do anything that's illegal, you call me out on my BS or quit, because I'm never going to do that. Not knowingly. I can make a mistake. I didn't see that in the label. I didn't see that on the SDS. I didn't see it. When I've had my inspections, the inspector told me, hey, look, this isn't right. Fix it, send me a picture, and we're good. That's the extent of my problems with not complying. I comply because Jesus tells me that Rome doesn't carry the sword in vain. So that we're to comply with all the laws, as long as the laws don't go against God. When the Department of Agriculture tells me this is against, because you're putting people at risk, I've got to respect and honor that, because it is the best interest of my customer. I'm going to act in the best interest of my customer. I'm always going to be an advocate for my customer. I'm not an advocate for the industry. I'm trying to help those that nobody's helping. I'm getting daily. I just got one this morning. My company just asked me to do something illegal. If I wouldn't have read the label, I wouldn't have known it's illegal. Those are the things, guys, that I'm working on. Those are the things, wherever I'm weak, I'm trying to work on my weaknesses. There's some weaknesses in my life that I'm never going to overcome unless God changes them. And I'm okay with that. There's some things that I don't want to change about me, no matter how much people tell me. I don't want to change that. I don't want to be the guy that lashes out. I don't want to be the guy that gets even. I don't want to be the guy that breaks your legs. I don't want to be a narcissistic prick. I don't know how to be that. Because I'm this way, because I'm nice, because I have the fruit of the Spirit. People confuse that for weakness. Don't ever confuse meekness for weakness. The Bible tells me to be gentle as a dove and shrewd as a snake. Don't confuse it, guys. I can't wait to get Deanie Miller on, Dr. Hurley on, all the people that are calling me right now to be on this podcast and deal with IPM because they're experts. I got people all over the world going, hey, I'm going to send your name to this entomologist and get him on your podcast. Please do that. If you're listening to me and you've got somebody, look, don't ask me if they need to be on. If you trust them that they're solid entomologists in your state, send them my info, send them my link, peskypodcast.com/guest. Bring them on. I've got a great podcast for you guys that I'm going to publish tonight about 417 pest control in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, that we just did on Tuesday. There's going to be so much good stuff in there for you guys to apply to your business and succeed. He was so generous in giving away all his secrets. These are the kind of people I want around me that are secure in themselves enough to give away all the secrets and still be successful because they're secure in themselves. This is what my podcast is about. This is what I'm about. I'm going to probably get him together and do some classes together. And I'm going to pay him. He's going to make money off these classes. If I'm making money, you're making money. I want people around me that have that dream and vision. Let's make it better. Let's make it better for everybody. And I'm willing to take a little piece of the pie because I'm not greedy. If you can pay me and it sells and the content is good and it sells, you get paid and I get paid. If I don't get paid, you don't get paid. And I'm surrounding myself with high caliber people. The 22 calibers out there that are shooting, blanks just won't be around me. Hey guys, this is Frank the Pest Geek from Fort Lauderdale Beach, Florida, wishing you a pestacular day.